Topic Thunder, it's Topic Thunder. Just acknowledge it, knowledge with no scholarships. It's Topic Thunder, it's Topic Thunder. Breaking everything down, tech to politics. It's Topic Thunder, it's Topic Thunder. We don't tell you what you want, we just give you what you need. It's Topic Thunder, it's Topic Thunder. News, blues, and views from these Chi-Town streets. Topic Thunder.
Oh yeah, there's a crackle in the air. There's a little bit of electricity flowing through the airspace here, and it's called Topic Thunder. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the program. It is Topic Thunder. My name is Brooks. That gentleman on the other side there is Ben. He's a very handsome fellow. And hey,
I think so.
We're about positivity here, Ben. We're all about positivity here, Ben. And
sure.
What we do is simply present topics. So we pour information into your cup and you sip it and you spit it out in the form of chat. And that chat is in the world's most dangerous chat zone. We call it the Thunderdome. So welcome in. Right? More. Ooh, yeah, freak out.
Yes, indeed.
All right. Ben had no idea I was going to do that.
Neither did I. Not at all.
Neither did I. Let me tell you. And folks, before we get officially started, I want to point out that this very week is Radiologic Technologist Week.
Uh-huh.
Brooks, what does that mean? Well, that means this week celebrates not only the good and hard work of the people who take your x-rays, your ultrasounds, your CAT scans, your MRIs, nuclear medicine, DEXA scans, mammography, anything that deals with energy that penetrates matter in a medical situation. This is our week.
Good.
It also kind of coincides with the discovery of x-rays, which is a whole nother show I could do on. But
I saw online a picture of Nikola Tesla doing an x-ray on his own foot when he was experimenting with his whole idea of x-ray just this week, because they were talking about the invention of it this week. As a matter of fact.
Ryan Hansen, cool. I'm
awesome.
happy your CT scan. To help celebrate that, I want to point out, ladies and gentlemen, this is my 10th year being an x-ray tech, licensed radiographer.
How time flies. I can remember when you were just still in school for that.
Seriously.
Yeah. Right.
And friendships made for a lifetime and connections made for a lifetime. This is the smallest community of people I've ever been in. And that includes the pro wrestling community, to be honest with you. You won't believe who knows who in the radiology world. And that includes one of our longtime listeners, friends of the show, participants, and pseudo sponsors. That includes my friend Biz, who spent time in our department here, who is the voice. If you like the intro, folks, that was my friend Biz. If you like the shiesty gear that we wear here on the show, that was my friend Biz. And to celebrate Radiologic Technologist Week, Rad Tech Week, we call it for short, and on the floor, he helped me design a t-shirt that I am proudly wearing today. And I'm going to step up and kind of do one of these here to show the t-shirt.
Yes.
Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Let me move that out of the way.
Very cool. Here, literally, let me put you as the main attraction here. Huh?
Literally something that folks, I wrote on a piece of paper. This is the original design, right? Let me orientate myself properly. This is the original design that I came up with, and Biz made this into a t-shirt.
That's dope. That's so cool.
For sure. You like Chicago? Got a little Chicago there with the radiation symbol there for the stars.
Oh,
like
look at you.
One.
Using the Chicago flag as part of your logo. That runs in the family, doesn't it? Yeah.
Imagine that.
Runs in the family.
And then a little personal touch for our X-ray department. We're the X-ray squad. Skull and Bones right there. Hey,
I haven't seen Biz in the chat, but since you brought him up, I was on the website today because I was going to, I wanted to see, I was in the mood to buy something. So I was going to go to getshysty.com and I wanted to get a new hat to wear on the air and wear to play golf and whatnot. Right. So I
just came out with a new one.
I saw that with the octopus logo.
Did you see the corduroy?
The corduroy one is one. Yes. Not really my style. It's cool. Just not my style. But what I am going to request, if possible, I don't know if you can get special orders or if it's something that enough people want that it will be part of the soon, but I would love a bucket hat. I wear bucket hats when I play golf, and I think that little logo is super cool. Like a black bucket hat, like not the big floppy bucket, but just like the short brim bucket hat.
Sure.
And like, Shysty on the back or something, I think would be super cool. So
Ben,
I'll definitely buy that.
We talked about Shysty last week, my good friend Biz, and we love him. He's a part of the show. You asked about basically why the octopus, right?
Yeah.
I have the answer, and this is from a legitimate piece of something that if you order from Shysty, you're going to get.
Yeah.
And it's a little piece of, it's a little explanation of why. Okay. The shy octopus. The shy octopus represents having your hands in multiple ambitions while swimming through the struggles of life. An octopus is smart, knows when to strike, and will actually shed a limb and grow it back to survive. It's about hustle, patience, and resilience. That is why my friend Biz chose the octopus to basically represent his brand. And you can't argue with that. Folks, I've got let's go Biz wide. I've got a pin. I got a Shysty pin.
Oh, look at that.
Oh yeah. Trust your dopeness. I've got a Shysty stick. I got a ton of Shysty stickers. Look at this.
I love the Shysty swag.
Why not? Shysty, get it? Come on.
I get it.
It makes a great Christmas present for folks.
Also, that hat right there that you see on the screen right there, I think it's sold out at the moment. We need more of those because I need one of those immediately.
I own one and it gets looks. I'll just say that. Just walking the neighbor, walking the dog, anything Shysty.
Yeah,
people see
it. I like that. I like that a lot. And then you re-up on that order. I need that immediately.
A good friend and a good guy. His wife is a phenomenal person too. So you can't go wrong ordering from the Shysty. Again, check out this t-shirt, folks. Come on. The dude literally took a sketch of basically a napkin and turned it into this. Right? Awesome. Which is just representing a department of people of hardworking medical professionals, which I salute this week. As actually over 100 years ago, Ben, X-rays were first discovered.
There you go.
That's it. And if you're sick and ill, we're the first ones to kind of peer into everything. So cheers to all my friends in the radiology world. Let's also
the best t-shirt designs do start on napkins. I agree.
They absolutely do in a Denny's or subsequent other diner situation. Folks, I was in Wisconsin on Friday and I never ever pass up the opportunity to pick up some delicious beer from our good friends at New Glarus. And this one is the Fat Squirrel.
There you go.
I don't know if I've had this one. This is how they describe it. One deceptively spring winter day, Brewmaster Dan walked home from the brewery, sat down to dinner, and said, "Boy, there are some fat squirrels out there. They're running all over the place. I think I should brew a Fat Squirrel Nut Brown Ale."
Deb
agreed, and so another beer was born. And here we are with Fat Squirrel. It is a brown nut ale. I don't know how you
brown nut ale. Yes.
Take that as you will, ladies and gentlemen. Truth be told, I've already had one. I like it. But that's not why you came here. Amy Cleaver, Gigi, my love, rushed in right before go time and said, "Did you do the vodka?"
which is just one of those sentences you don't hear very often. Did you
Because
do
at
the
this
vodka?
point, truth be told, Ben,
Probably in Russia you hear that a lot though.
we're not allowed to comment on what's said in Russia. Uh, truth be told, prior to the show, I had text back because I thought we were off this week.
Right.
And
You weren't the only one confused. Ryan Hansen also thought there was no show this week, but it's actually next week that there is no show.
Next week we're off. So next week, no show. Don't expect
Right.
next week, no show.
And just to clarify, we also will be back for the Friday or the day before Thanksgiving.
The Black Wednesday.
Black Wednesday. Like, what kind of saloon would we be if we were closed on the night before Thanksgiving? That seems foolish. So we will be here the night before Thanksgiving for sure. We've already both agreed. We will be
yeah, absolutely. Just letting you know, pre-warning. We are in communion.
I might even drink that night. I don't even do that, and I might. I just thought of that now. Last time I did that on the air, I got literally blackout drunk and threw up everywhere.
And now we're doing it.
Yeah.
So
maybe I'll get some PBR. I can't go wrong with PBR. At least I can drink a PBR.
Can go wrong with PBR. If you know what PBR is, you haven't lived. So Gigi came in and
sorry, I got ahead of myself.
Go for it. Hey, this is fine. Do it.
All right.
This is headlines.
Fuck it.
So Gigi comes in and she's like, "Did you do the vodka?" Long story short, I made this Polish stew called Bigos, and we went to a Polish store to buy Polish sausage and sauerkraut, and they had this vodka there.
Ooh, Polish vodka, eh?
Potato vodka. So
headline: Polish vodka.
Hello. And most of the vodka you drink is based on grains. This one is based on potatoes, which works for me genetically because I'm also Irish. So it's like our spiritual vegetable, basically.
Got it.
It is a delicious vodka, but it has a definite note of like pepper, and I mean like peppercorn. Like,
okay.
In the fact that it's spicy like that, and I don't mean like hey, chew this peppercorn. But I mean, like, which is not a good idea. And
sounds horrible. Yes,
it's a horrible story because there was I actually have a godmother, and at one point my godmother sent us these lamb cakes.
Okay,
like for Easter, like cakes in the form of a lamb, which is really weird and probably a show itself.
What the fuck is that?
Right, but
okay.
Put eyes on the lamb, and the eyes were peppercorns. So as a kid, I couldn't have not been more than 10 years old. As a kid, I was like, Marcia, my godmother sent us this great cake. And look, there's a chocolate chip for an eyeball.
Oh.
And a 9-year-old Michael Brooks learned a quick lesson at that moment in life.
Yeah, peppercorns are not chocolatey.
That you should expect a different palate at that point. And at closer inspection, you're an idiot. Even at 9 years old. So a little bit of Polish vodka in my favorite shot glass, which is my Hydra shot glass. It makes no sense whatsoever. But whenever I take a shot from my Hydra shot glass, I always have to recite the following line. Cut off 2 heads. Oh shit! I fucked that up already.
Wow.
Hans grew at. There it is.
Leave it to the Thunderdome, by the way.
2 more shall take place. What?
Our buddy Joey, dropping a little knowledge there. I didn't know this. If you're freaking out on marijuana, chewing a peppercorn can help bring you back to earth.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, never tried marijuana. So
no,
wouldn't
don't
know.
do that.
It's the devil's lettuce.
Weird.
Sorry.
Jazz cabbage.
Yeah, sorry.
Hey, all right. So there's no.
Speaking of the devil.
Speaking of the devil, right? There's no way to properly segue into this other than shit's really weird these days. And we here at the show try to pride ourselves on sorting things out and providing a way, a path to some sort of sanity. But at this point,
See, even Biz thought we were wrong. It was very confusing for everyone.
Jazz cabbage. Yeah.
Jazz cabbage.
Jazz
I
cabbage.
like that.
Stony Bay, my good friend Giovanni. Hello, sir. It's really hard to tell these days who are the good guys and who are the bad guys.
Recurring theme on Topic Thunder when we discuss this. Yes.
It's the worst place you could ever possibly be in as a populace, as a country, as a voting republic. You can't be in a worse situation where you can't tell who's good and who's bad.
Yeah.
And here we are with the situation again in Israel, Hamas, Gaza. Folks, there's nothing I can say, Ben can say, and that we can present to you that you already don't have a formed opinion on.
Right. Yeah. At this point,
Right.
we're just kind of repeating ourselves over and over a little bit.
And I kind of struggled with this kind of forming the show a little bit. And going forward, we've talked a ton about Ukraine, right? We've talked about natural disasters. We've talked about political insurrections, if you
We've
will.
talked about hippopotamuses.
And we love them so, and they'll be at the end of the show. There's plenty of palate cleanses here today.
I mean, Topic Thunder without some video of hippopotamus doing something cute or dangerous.
I
One of the two.
combines. Yes.
Or the both at the same time.
Just respect. Hashtag respect. Hashtag hippo respect.
We love our pound cows.
We fucking do. I don't know what to tell you. And I've had a lot of people come up and tell me, like, you get your news from Topic Thunder, or you get your news. I listen to Michael because he's on top personally and on the podcast, right? Folks, I can't tell you what to think in this point, and I don't want to. I don't want to be that person to solely inform you about the goings on in the world. I shouldn't probably say that on a podcast that is predicated on talking about the things that are going on in the world.
Right.
But I don't want to lead your heart somewhere it doesn't naturally go.
Right.
We're not propaganda, right? We're
definitely not.
We joke around when we open the show and we say we're info tenders, right? We say that we're horrors of conversation, and I take that seriously. I'm not here to try to sway anyone one way or the other, because especially in this situation, golly, it seems like you're damned if you do and damned if you don't, right? And it's even worse in certain situations when you call it 50-50 down the line and call out both sides for their obvious issues and their obvious atrocities, because we can get to a lot of what's going on, but it doesn't seem like either side really cares about the other or civilians
or what the result is afterwards. Like, neither side, there is no, like, when are we done here? When is it over? When has revenge been wrought? You know what I mean? Like, there is no consensus or anything. Here we are 33 days into this thing, and it doesn't feel like we're any closer to a resolution to this issue. We're just still in the phase of we're throwing bombs at these people until they just, I don't know, give up. I don't know what the end result, like, to continue to bomb Gaza and destroy Gaza does what exactly? I don't know what the end, and I don't even know if they know what the ends are to the means. Like, I just, doesn't seem to be any discussion about what's other than eradication, essentially.
I mean, okay, I'm just going to jump off on that talking point and be like, well, if I'm the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force, if I'm that entity, I'm not going to tell you what my end goal is, right? Other than saying the eradication of Hamas, right? Which is, Hamas is terrible.
Right.
Hamas is horrible. The whole ideal of it.
Yes, their ideals, everything about them, no good.
they are all about genocide,
Yes.
which makes it equally frustrating that what Israel's carrying out right now is being equated to and is equivalent to genocide.
Genocide. Yeah. Right.
Like, again, I'm not looking to get the attention of being labeled as anti-Semites or Islamophobic. I'm not. And if you've ever
When it
had
comes to religion, we really are take the whole this whole idea is dumb kind of stance. Like,
dumb is the right word too,
right? Yeah.
like
The whole idea of religion and fighting to this level over something as man-made and made up as religion, it's extremely frustrating as someone who is not of either faith or any faith. It is extremely frustrating. But you said something there, and I want to, the eradication of Hamas, right, is a talking point. It is something to say so that you can get people to say, well, yeah, of course we agree with eradicating Hamas. But the methods that they're using to go about it are also eradicating Palestinians, innocent Palestinians.
civilians.
Civilian Palestinians that are, so it really reads as it, like you said, a genocide, an eradication of Palestinians, because that's who they're bombing, knowing again that Hamas is underground. And yes, they've destroyed a number of tunnels, all well and good, but in order to do the damage that they have already done to Hamas, there have been so many needless casualties of people. And then after the bombings, they're purposefully not allowing help in and allowing anyone out. And it's just, how does that not read as a genocide of the people?
It's, again, there. It's almost like there is no correct or right response because everybody's going to lash out. Everybody's going to have an opinion. And I think, personally, I think this is a little bit different than saying the situation in Ukraine and Russia, right? I think this is a little bit different than that because of the prior history in specifically the division of Gaza and the West Bank in this situation, and the bequeathing of the land in 1946 to the state of Israel, where that land didn't belong to them in that initial period to be gone. And this entire idea, these competing ideas, are based on books about deities, about space fairies, sky fairies. However, these books have also been heavily edited by men. Men in power.
Mm-hmm.
Men have a lot to lose, that have crafted this story over generations and eons to tell you one story over another versus another. And I think that's where the nuance comes in. And I think that's where we truly need to pump the brakes in these situations and discuss the nuance of this. Because Anthony Blinken, Ben's highlighting, is calling for a ceasefire, right?
But he's rejecting calls for a ceasefire.
And maybe rightfully so, because in a ceasefire situation, you might allow your enemy to regroup, rearm, replan, replant in situations.
Yeah, okay, fair,
right?
all fair arguments. But
and on the other side, right?
Right.
Is that like, wait, there are innocent people that we need to evacuate. We need to get out. That should not be part of your fight, right? But then there are all of the nuance in those stories. Well, how can you tell the Palestinian people that just 1.3 million people just GTFO, right? And how, where do you go when no other country around that wants to take these people in, right? Where do you go when Israel says, well, fuck it, we're going in from every which way, and I don't know how to say this, but like clearly don't really care about civilians. There are estimates of 11,000 dead civilians inside Gaza right now, and plenty of evidence that Israel is bombing hospitals and relief convoys. But temper all of this by our discussions about mis and disinformation and how easy all of that is to put out. There have been videos of hospitals, like people inside like security camera footage of hospitals that has been circulated as like, well, look what Israel's doing to the hospitals inside Gaza, that were hospitals in Syria in 2017.
Yeah, see, that does nobody any good. That sort of disinformation just muddies the waters. It's distracting and hurtful for the entire thing. It just does nothing but stir unnecessary shit.
And we have to be cognizant of that aspect of this,
right?
And that the fog of war is a weapon in and of itself. It disguises information, and if you don't know what the target is, you can't explain it. You can't put terms to it. You can't report it. You can't, like, it's not like the military is pulling a report and saying, okay, we have objective A, we have objective B, but objective B is broken up at objective B1, B2, B3. And as soon
right,
as
they're not explaining that shit to the press. Definitely not.
So there's no context then given in these situations. That's another casualty of war, actually, is context. So in all these situations, whether it's what's going on in Darfur right now, which is basically another genocide, what's going on here in Gaza, which is being equated to a genocide, not to downplay what happened on October 7th, because that also is genocide, and Hamas has clearly called for a genocide of the Israeli people and the Jewish people. So what are we doing here, really? When both sides are going...
Look at that destruction, though, Brooks. Look at that. Golly.
Oh, I mean...
There's just nothing left. It's just a giant crater in the fucking ground in the middle of a fucking...
Acknowledge the sophistication of the Israeli defense and military capabilities versus the abilities of Hamas and Hezbollah. You're not going to be able to compete on a state scale with Israel as far as its defense and its weaponry. In Hezbollah, Hamas, and all ISIS, Taliban, as a singular non-state entity, you cannot compete. You'd have to get Iran involved. You have to get state sponsors involved, which are clearly in play. But it's not like it's like Iranian helicopters flying through Gaza right now. Or it's certainly Iranian rockets. And for every picture we show of Gaza, we could probably show a picture of something horrible that's happened to Israeli citizens. And let's also acknowledge the amount of hostages that Hamas has taken. Sure. And the terrible, horrible things they're doing to people. Because you can't... I've got a bunch of stories after that all kind of like play at this whole thing, this whole conversation.
Look at this, though. Like, this is buried in like paragraph 9 of this Politico story. But look at this, what I highlight. More than 9,000 Palestinians have been killed since Israel responded to Hamas's October 7th attack. Now, per the Hamas-led Gaza Health Ministry. So again, can we believe this or not? No. We don't know. But nearly they're saying 4,000 of them are children. Now, again, this is where it's like, can you believe it? You can't. When it's Hamas-led Gaza Health Ministry, it's easy to be speculative.
And
or skeptical, I should say. That's
at the same time, you can't believe exactly everything that's coming out of the official word of Israel, the
Right.
state government of Israel, for the same reasons, the same exact reasons. So each side is going to defend their stuff, right? And they're going to try to embellish and publicize their point of view via casualties of war, atrocities, and war crimes, which a lot of these clearly are on both sides. Both sides. And I hate the idea. That people that go, hey, wait a minute. Both sides are guilty of some shit. We leading left or right is not this situation.
Right, because we are anti both sides argument, right? Like generally speaking, in almost any other discussion, you and I would be of the mind of no, we got to get out of the both sides mindset here. But in this particular situation, it truly is a both sides fucking suck situation.
Both sides sucks or both sides are right.
Either way. You could spin it either way. Right.
To what end? To what end? But it's not the only spot that's being flattened in the world. In a prior podcast, we talked a lot about what happened in Syria. Because it was appropriate at the time. But this is just from this was this was today. U.S. launches airstrike on site in Syria in response to attacks by Iranian-backed militias. Who said in the chat that we're inching towards World War III? Who? Because it's starting to shape up that way, even though we've been kind of talking about this for Ben. This is episode 133.
Wow.
And I think we've been talking about this kind of shit for about 2 years. It's just, who's lining up? It's like the old WWF Survivor Series.
Yes.
There's 4 countries on one side. There's 4 countries on the other. Who will survive?
Who will survive the Survivor Series?
One voice on one side is Mehdi Hassan. Mehdi is a commentator, talking head on MSNBC, but is actually, I think it's the next story, Ben.
Oh, okay. We're off this one already. My bad.
We're moving, because
I like it.
I'm at this point. We've already 35 minutes on one topic. Yeah, we're rough.
So we're skipping the next Twitter one, and we're going right to the Mehdi Hassan. Got it. I'm on it. I'm on the same page as you.
All right, that's tough right now because of this Polish vodka and this Wisconsin beer. It's a quick video. Mehdi Hassan has a very interesting point of view, but it's on TV, so take that as you will.
When it comes to quote-unquote intent in the context of the Genocide Convention, listen to what Israeli politicians and generals themselves have said. Cabinet ministers like Yoav Gallant, the defense minister, who said Israel was fighting human animals and ordered a complete siege on the Gaza Strip, no electricity, no food, no fuel. Or Energy Minister Israel Katz, who said no electrical switch will be turned on in Gaza, no water pump will be opened, and no fuel truck will enter until the Israeli abductees are returned home. Or Heritage Minister Amichai Eliyahu, who said blow up and flatten everything in the north of Gaza and give that land to Israeli settlers. Or Israeli President Isaac Herzog, who suggested that the innocent civilian population of Gaza, 2.3 million people, half of them children, weren't so innocent because they could have risen up against Hamas. Members of Benjamin Netanyahu's governing party in the Israeli Knesset, like Reva Tal Gottlieb, who called for the use of a quote-unquote doomsday weapon to flatten Gaza without mercy. Serving and retired Israeli generals like Ghassan Alian, who also referred to animals in Gaza and said there will only be destruction. You wanted hell? You will get hell. Or Giora Ireland, who wrote that Israel needs to create a humanitarian crisis in Gaza, and Gaza will become a place where no human being can exist. Where no human being can exist. And if you think that's bad, just listen to the man in charge of Israel's government and military speaking on Saturday.
You must remember what Amalek has done to you, says our Holy Bible, and we do remember, and we are fighting.
That was Prime Minister Netanyahu invoking a biblical story in which the Israelites were told to exterminate, to literally kill all the men, women, and children from an ancient tribe called Amalek. Not a great reference when we're debating accusations of possible genocidal intent, I think we can all agree.
Jesus, yeah, there's a lot of crazy fucking rhetoric coming out of Israel. That's for sure.
And Hamas. We don't.
And I'm on both sides. Yeah.
I let's go to the KT Special CIA.
Mm-hmm.
I have followed this account for a while. I can't exactly give you 100% authenticity of this video, but this video was taken outside of a hospital inside Gaza, where allegedly electricity and power has been rationed, but they had enough electricity to put up a big screen and hold an event that showed the atrocities that Hamas committed on a big screen, in a big crowd, in a big square, as if it was the Saturday night feature.
So what are they showing up on the screen, Brooks?
They're showing like firsthand footage of like the paragliders showing up and flying into that musical festival. From what I'm
Gotcha.
From what I've researched.
Got it.
So again, we have to temper all of this with there's the fog of war right now. And Warren, Ryan Hansen asked, how many wars are going on? 3, 4, or 5? Ben, you and I talked, and I emphatically told everybody that Russia had started World War III a long time ago, years ago. And it will look back, historians
will look back and see the steps, the breadcrumbs. Yep.
That were laid out here. And there's a ton of evidence that shows how in hand the Russian military complex is with this situation in Gaza, just like the United States military complex is. But you can also see sides forming. Golly, can't see Russia, Iran, China, North Korea, the Syrian government, Saudi Arabia, UAE. There are Israel. There's a ton of evidence that shows you who's on what side. We talked about Survivor Series, right? Who's on the other side of the ring? Who's holding on to that tag rope? Ben, I think I may have messed up and sent you the missed timeline. Do you have the thing with Obama?
Yes.
Obama. Okay.
Yes.
So remember way back when we had an eloquent president who was educated on all topics.
Right.
And
didn't sound senile or insane. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that guy.
Here is that guy describing this situation.
There's any chance of us being able to act constructively to do something, it will require an admission of complexity. and maintaining what on the surface may seem contradictory ideas. That what Hamas did was horrific, and there's no justification for it. And what is also true is that the occupation and
Important word.
what's happening to Palestinians is unbearable. And what is also true is that there is a history of the Jewish people that may be dismissed unless your grandparents or your great-grandparents or your uncle or your aunt tell you stories about the madness of anti-Semitism. And what is true is that there are people right now who are dying who have nothing to do with what Hamas did. And what is true, right? I mean, we can go on for a while. And the problem with the social media and trying to TikTok activism and trying to debate this on that is you can't speak the truth. You can pretend to speak the truth. You can speak one side of the truth. And in some cases, you can try to maintain your moral innocence, but that won't solve the problem. And so if you want to solve the problem, then you have to take in the whole truth. And you then have to admit nobody's hands are clean, that all of us are complicit to some degree. I look at this and I think back, what could I have done during my presidency to move this forward as hard as I tried? I've got the scars to prove it. But there's a part of me that's still
Spoiler alert. Yeah.
was there something else I could have done?
A lot.
That's the conversation we should be having. Not just looking backwards, but looking forward. And that can't happen if we are confining ourselves to our outrage. I would rather see you out there talking to people, including people who you disagree with. If you genuinely want to change this, then you've got to figure out how to speak to somebody on the other side and listen to them and understand what they are talking about and not dismiss it. Because you can't save that child without their help. Not in this situation.
So that's what happens. That's 3 minutes and 15 seconds of a guy with a Harvard education and one of the greatest orators of our lifetime, wrapping up what we have been saying for 3 weeks over 40 minutes.
Clumsily.
Yeah, exactly. He wrapped it all up eloquently and made you understand clearly what he was talking about in 3 minutes and 15 seconds. We wasted basically the last 3 weeks of your y'all's time. We could have just played you this video and been like, all right, and we're moving on. Here's more videos of hippos.
All right. We will not have a show next week as punishment.
Right, as punishment. We're going to punish ourselves.
Speaking of punishing yourself, Ben.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen it? You should probably be careful with who you step up to.
Yeah.
Because you never know.
Then you might fuck around and find out.
FAFO.
He knew he fucked up right there.
You know when the crowd
knows. Yeah, the crowd knew pretty quick.
Be careful who you step up to.
Indeed.
You want to talk about Ivanka? Let's talk about. I think we should talk about Ivanka.
Okay, we can talk about Ivanka.
because Ivanka Trump testified in court today regarding her father's civil trial regarding the Trump
She was the
organization.
third Trump child too. We talked about Donald Jr. last week and his cocaine-induced ramblings, and then Eric, I think, also testified in the last week, and then Ivanka recently, yesterday.
And Ivanka basically,
She just looks like a total bitch, dude. Just looking at her.
I don't want to see like I. You
Just-
don't want to.
Sorry.
I don't want to judge or assume people's personalities like that. We should,
But there's enough evidence to speak to.
Man, I don't think I could work for her. I don't think I could.
No.
So she said, I don't recall 30 times before noon. Okay, so I don't want to hear it from the back of the room. We're like, hey, that Clinton guy was on stage and he said, I don't recall. Yeah, but that Clinton guy. When push comes to shove, Ivanka basically actually sold her father out.
Really?
Whether she wants to admit it or not, because she admitted to things, to not recall things that they've literally got her on emails acknowledging or at least being a part of.
God damn it.
So when this whole thing goes down with the Trump thing, and it's probably going to be about some weird tax thing or some weird financial.
Nah, dude, we forgot about it, but dude, Georgia's election fraud. That's the one, man. That they got him on
and difficult to
on
prove.
the phone asking for fucking votes.
Difficult to prove, as opposed to misstating financial statements. Just ask Al Capone. How'd they get Al Capone?
But this is a civil trial, ultimately. Like, this is not. He's not going to do it. There's no jail time coming from this.
No, they could absolutely devastate him.
And business-wise, he could never do business in the state of New York again. That is a very real possibility.
And if you're going to do business in the United States, if you can't do business in New York, what are you doing? They can also seize his property. All of it.
Good.
To make up for the misstatements in these tax statements, to misstating and fraudulently inflating value against the market and then not paying tax. I'll be very honest. Trump is not a rich man. So if he comes up against a $500 million tax bill, he does not have that money to pay it. And
he'll grift his fucking followers to pay it.
His properties are not worth that he can lend against them. It's finally coming to fruition that this guy has been playing the game of,
and he's still the Republican frontrunner.
Well,
the nominee.
I mean, there are a couple of states right now that are engaged in hearings that will eventually go up to their state's Supreme Courts about removing him via the 14th Amendment from the ballot based on the fact that he supported an insurrection. There is an insurrection. By the way, there's an insurrection clause in the Constitution that says if you participated in a revolution or insurrection against the Constitution, you're ineligible for the presidency. It's a legit thing.
Yeah. And so we'll see, I guess. Maybe we'll get Ron DeSantis in his high heels. Have you seen that? That has missed our radar here on the show. But the stories about him wearing those platform shoes to make himself taller. Oh my God. I think they got him because there's drawings and like people that know footwear that have like looked at pictures and like that dude definitely wears fucking heels. It's crazy.
Ben, you and I come up from a wrestling background.
Mm-hmm.
And we know plenty of stories of wrestlers who are 5'9",
Ish. Yeah.
wearing elevated shoes
Right.
and boots to make themselves, I'm 6 foot. Right?
Yeah, but they were wrestlers, not candidates for president.
Chris Jericho is actually a famous example of that.
Yes.
Chris Jericho is barely 5'10", allegedly. Allegedly. But wears lifts just like Ron DeSantis. And we don't. He's
I
a
know.
scumbag.
It's
low
thankfully
hanging.
you guys are watching us and not watching that debate that's going on currently.
It's low hanging fruit. The debate. What debate? Please.
But Nikki Haley's coming out of the pack, baby.
She's the most palatable of those on stage.
I guess.
But
It's like they're all black licorice. It's just what flavor, what brand of black licorice do you like least or like most, I guess.
Exactly. Speaking of democracy in action, the writings of wrongs. Ben, you've heard of the Central Park Five.
I have heard of them. Yep.
Okay. If you have not, the Central Park Five are a group of 5 black males that were wrongfully accused of rape of a white woman in Central Park back in the 80s. So much so that at one time, real estate magnate and socialite Donald Trump took out a full-page ad.
Yes, he did.
In the New York Times, calling for their execution.
There's a few documentaries on this that are going more depth that I would definitely recommend.
So, and read up, watch up on this because here is a short video from Yusuf Salam, who is one of those Central Park 5 who just recently won a seat in the New York State Congress.
Fantastic.
And, well, just listen to him.
We are actually possible. It's possible for us to be able to do anything.
Yusuf Salam's work for his Harlem community is about to take another level. The Democrat is poised to win a seat on the New York City Council.
What are you going to do for your constituents?
The biggest push, I think, over and above getting affordable housing for my community, getting safe streets for my community, getting great education, world-class education, in fact, for my community, is us beginning to plan for the future that allows us to come together and organize ourselves in a way that's meaningful.
Salam was one of 5 teens wrongfully accused and imprisoned for the beating and rape of a white woman in Central Park in 1989. The group came to be known as the Central Park 5. Salam was sent to prison when he was 15 and spent almost 7 years there before he was exonerated.
15.
In 2022, the National Registry of Exonerations published a list of people who were convicted of crimes and were later exonerated. 53% of them were black. Based on your life's experience, what do you think this tells us about our justice system?
Well, it tells us that the system itself is alive and sick because it's not a checkers game, it's a chess game. And we have to play the long game. We have to be able to plan in 50 to 100 year cycles. Because right now, if we're not the majority of this population, but we are the majority of the people that are in the prison industrial complex, that means we have a problem.
Salam will now help make policy in New York City, which continues to struggle with the migrant crisis.
I think the mayor has been given an unfair task because it's one thing to have to deal with mayoral issues as it relates to the community that you're coming into. But it's another thing then to be having a new set of challenges that you didn't think about, that you didn't foresee.
Yusuf Salam was exonerated in 2002, and the city ultimately paid a $41 million settlement to the 5 men in 2014. In New York City, I'm Axel Tercius, Scripps News.
There you go. Good shit. Good for him. Big fan. Oh, where'd you go? Did you have your cough button on? And you
I have
left
the
it on?
cough button on. Oh,
You did.
Innocence and justice matter is what I was trying to say. Ben, I want to point out that the next link. Do you have this thing about Dusable? Yeah. So we actually just had the birthday in 1750 of Jean-Baptiste Point du Sable, the father of Chicago.
Hey.
What? The greatest city on the face of the fucking planet. We just celebrated the father of the city this last week. I'm going to read this. A man of African descent. He became the first known settler in the area that became known as the city of Chicago. He married a Potawatomi woman. Yeah. Known as
I know that because there's a casino in Milwaukee
Kitty
named
Waha.
Potawatomi.
Of course, Potawatomi. He married Kitty Waka, as Catherine, I guess, is the American translation, and they had 2 children. According to records, the property included a log cabin, 2 barns, a horse-drawn mill, a bakehouse, poultry house, dairy, smokehouse, fenced garden, and an orchard. At his
Damn.
trading post, Dusable served Native Americans, British, and French explorers and spoke a number of languages. He was
Damn.
actually arrested by the British for being thought of as an American patriot sympathizer.
Of course he was.
Of course he was. That, according to Julius Jones, a curator at the Chicago History Museum. But Dusable beat those charges. In Chicago today, a school, a street, a museum, a harbor, a park, a bridge bear his name. The place where he settled near the mouth of the Chicago River is now a National Historic Landmark, part of the city's Pioneer Court, and it's beautiful if you visit. That,
Cool.
folks, is so when you hang your hat on the Chicago, when you hang your hat on any city, know your history.
Indeed. Good stuff. Speaking of good stuff.
Speaking of good stuff, we've talked about nature fighting back.
Yes.
We actually talked about orcas sinking ships.
Yes, this is not new, but they're at it again, baby.
2 days ago. For the 4th time in 2 years, a group of unusually
brazen orcas.
Great band name.
Yes, it is. Unusually Brazen Orcas is an amazing metal band.
In southwestern Europe, have sunk a sailing boat after relentlessly attacking it for almost an hour on Halloween. A pod of orcas has attacked and sunk another boat in southwestern Europe after relentlessly bombarding the vessel and its crew for almost an hour on Halloween. It's the 4th time orcas have, from this region's population, sunk a vessel in the last 2 years. On October 31, the Grazi Mama, a mid-sized sailing yacht, owned by a Polish cruise company, Morskie Mile. I like down by Morskie Mile. Was attacked by an unknown number of orcas for around 45 minutes off the coast of Morocco in the Strait of Gibraltar. Morskie Mile, representatives wrote on a Facebook post translated from Polish. The orcas, also known as killer whales, repeatedly hit the yacht's rudder, causing major damage and allowing water into the vessel's hull. Despite receiving aid from the Moroccan Navy and being towed to safety, the boat eventually sank.
This is a juvenile orca carries away a large piece of rudder.
Fuck your rudder. It basically said.
It's a toy to that thing.
The boat eventually sank as it entered the port of Tangier Med in Morocco. All passengers were safely evacuated from the boat before it sank. The unusual attack is the latest example of many of unnerving new orca behaviors that have highlighted striking intelligence of these deadly predators since 2020. Orcas have been regularly harassing boats in the Strait of Gibraltar, a narrow strait between Spain and Morocco that connects the Atlantic Ocean to the Mediterranean Sea and surrounding waters off the coast of the Iberian Peninsula. These nautical raids.
Also, the first song off of Unusually Brazen Orcas
These
album.
nautical raids.
These nautical raids.
That's a great, actually, openings.
It
That
is.
sets the tone for the
It
album.
does. Uh-huh.
Totally like prog rock. Like this thing's going places. It's like Tool and Pink Floyd and like the Grateful Dead all combined.
All in one. Yes.
That's it. The first song.
These
nautical raids. Were likely started by a pod including White Gladys, which is another song.
The lead singer is the lead singer of the
Gladys.
Unusually Brazen.
A female
It fits,
orca.
right?
Yep.
She would be the lead singer of
Of
Unusually
these
Brazen.
nautical raids. Yeah, absolutely. So White Gladys is a female orca who may have been traumatized by past boat collision. The unusual behavior then spread amongst other individuals who seem to be becoming more daring and efficient with their attacks. I think we're downplaying the fact that White Gladys was traumatized by this and it spread.
Right, and then she decided to teach the others.
She's
how to fuck with these boats.
Communicating her trauma.
The level of revenge and
people.
vengeance in that orca's brain. God damn.
And they said, "Fuck those humans."
Right.
Like literally, she got fucked up by a boat, hit the rudder, the propeller, or whatever, right? And said, "Those motherfuckers,
they're gonna fucking get it. They're gonna pay."
And told her people who then listened, and now a generation later are attacking boats.
Unbelievable.
We're on the orca side for the most part.
Right. Yeah. If you're attacking a yacht, I'm in favor of the orcas on that one.
For the most part. This one was sent in. This next one. I know we're late, folks, for the lightning round, but hang on.
Yeah.
This one was sent by Tipton Moscow.
Oh, yeah? Good for him.
I'm pretty sure this is security video from his house.
Yeah. So the caption, if you can't read it here, it's kind of small. It says, "Funny story. I list my 2007 Chevy Silverado on Facebook Marketplace, and a guy calls from North Jersey and wants the truck 1,000% as long as the body is as nice as it looks in the pictures. I assure him that it's mint, and he says he's driving down with cash. Here's a video of him pulling up in the white Tahoe out front."
Cracked ribs.
Look at the Tahoe's pulling up.
This is how pull up. You mean that truck?
I can't imagine it.
The distance.
Oh my god. Yeah, it clears one whole car. Two cars, really.
The fucking 2/3 of that driveway.
Yeah,
Look
it
at
really
the
did.
launch point.
It cleared at least 2 car lengths for sure.
This is why, like, male human sports shouldn't be played by humans. We should be giving the deer the football and be like, figure this out.
Man, that's good. Oops.
Speaking of that last sentence made no sense. And that's what you get when you feed me Polish vodka. You also get this undeniably adorable video of a hippo and a rhino.
He thought he was a rhino. Right.
We couldn't understand why he needed to get in the water, but the rhinos wouldn't go in with him. All his behavior was very much rhino-like. Charlie seemed like he never received milk from his mother. It was during a time of drought, so we think that she was not able to feed him. Makosi was also a drought baby. Girl, her teeth. Hippos and rhinos are very social animals. In the wild, they spend all day next to mom. So for the first couple of months, they love the warmth of another body. Because they were both very new, both very nervous, it just made sense to put the two of them together. They love napping together. They snuggle up right next to each other. Charlie will put his head on Makosi's tummy or on her foot. They snuggle up close. The other thing that they really love is being sprayed with a hose pipe. They get really excited. You spray them down and it's fun.
Look at that shit.
They're just sniffing and snorting and he grew up thinking he was a rhino, never knowing another hippo. So he never learned any hippo behavior. We thought we would never be able to release him back into the wild. Because of the poaching incidents, unfortunately there are a lot more rhino orphans than hippo orphans. She came from over 1,000 kilometers away, so that was a 20-hour drive to fetch her and bring her here. It was quite nerve-wracking because we weren't sure if it was going to work, but they bonded so beautifully in 3 days. They were in love with each other. She just absolutely adores Charlie. She's very possessive over him. If he gets attention, then she gets upset because she wants him to herself.
Sounds about right.
Moomins managed to teach him quite a lot about being a hippo, how to love the water, which he never really enjoyed in the beginning. We would have to spray him down with a hose pipe. They graze at night, which he wasn't doing. He was sleeping at night with the rhinos and grazing during the day. So now he's definitely acting more like a hippo than he was when he was with the rhinos. They do still interact with each other. They still spend their days together. You can see them sleeping under a tree together during the day. So they're still very much friends. Seeing the progress, to me, is the most rewarding because we know we've given them a safe place to become the animals that they are and then to eventually be released back into the wild where they belong.
That's so great. Incredible.
Just amazing creatures. We love them. You love them. We love them. And you.
Speaking of amazing.
Love this. It's the lightning round. Well, this is it. Your bread and butter. You waited until 8 o'clock.
Indeed. You hung in with us a long time through all our shenanigans.
All of our shenanigans and all of our posturing and all of our moral high ground-ality, if that's a word. But I already see the thunderbolts being tossed up in the world's most dangerous cat zone. We call that the Thunderdome. And folks, if you're not familiar with the lightning round by now, let Bane please explain. 3 stories enter. 1 shall be read by you, the people. And we exercise our democracy seriously here, folks. So, in the chat zone, please cast your votes as we read headline number 1. Lamb chop stuffed into car exhaust in Hertfordshire. Meat attack.
Okay, all right.
Headline number 2. Grubhub driver.
They sucked you in on that one.
Yeah, a lot of
bees there. Grubhub driver.
That type of on your palate when you're talking. Grubhub driver claims delivery cup of urine instead of milkshake was an accident. And headline number 3. Somerset man banned from wearing gimp suit and writhing on the ground.
All right, this is a 2-horse battle, I think, but
I may have.
But maybe number 1. Hey, I've read the room wrong plenty of times. So
you can't read the chat. You can't read the Thunderdome. It's too dangerous, Ben.
It is. It's really you assume something and then boom, they're doing
there it
something
goes.
completely different.
So As you all get a chance to kind of plot your course and make your vote, I don't think I have a proper pen. Let me grab a pen over here. I'm going to read you headlines number 1 through 3 in that order, and I'm going to try to do a real sexy. Headline number 1. Lamb chops stuffed in a car exhaust in Hertfordshire meat attack. Headline number 2. Grubhub driver claims delivery cup of urine instead of milkshake was an accident. And headline number 3. Somerset man banned from wearing gimp suit and withering on the ground. Did you get it? Did you get all that?
Indeed.
Woo!
All right, let's vote.
Let's do it. Folks, we exercise a democracy here on Topic Thunder.
We have seemingly stumped because usually by now some votes have already started rolling.
There are
in.
no votes. But
now, all right, finally we break the seal, so to speak. And all this talk of urine and breaking the seal, I have to pee incredibly bad right now.
You're breaking
so
the seal.
This is not helping all of this chatter about pee and stuff.
I honestly
Wow.
we are collecting votes right now. Just
all right,
like
so
Ben is,
number 3, number 1, number 3.
Ben is all about it right now.
Yeah, let's go. Chop, people.
Folks, get your fucking vote in!
Or else I'm going to pee in this bottle live on the air.
Well, if that's the case, so we're gonna set up a GoFundMe and like do that like proper. Maybe an only. That's more of an
on our Patreon. Yeah,
OnlyFans for Patreon. We got.
Here we go. Number 3. Number 3.
I think we have 4 votes for 3. Again, ladies and gentlemen, we'll get things out of the way, get some business out of the way up front. As you're voting, we do this every Wednesday night, except next Wednesday night.
Yeah, not next Wednesday.
Right,
then the Wednesday after that, we will be back.
And we're gonna do we'll have some kind of advertisement about what we call Black Wednesday. We'll do some kind of drinking on the air. But folks, we're right now in the midst of voting.
Black Russians. I'm gonna drink Black Russians or White Russians. White Russians.
Either
or. Maybe one of both.
Why make a decision like right now? We don't have to.
You
have to make a decision.
What we do need to do is read this story so that I can go pee, because I'm going to pee myself if we don't.
Oh, we can't wait. So, folks, we're gonna get right to it. Number 3 is gonna be the declared winner, even though you're waiting in line to vote and polls have closed. Ladies and gentlemen, Somerset man banned from wearing gimp suit and withering on the ground. Joshua Hunt, 32, receives sexual risk order after police linked him to 25, quote, Somerset gimp incidents. 25.
Also, that's the 3rd track on brazenly or unusually brazen orcas thing. That's the 3rd track on the
25 Somerset gimp incidents.
Somerset gimp incidents is the name of it.
A man has been banned for 5 years from wearing a mask and dressing in an all-black suit in public at night and, quote, crawling, wriggling, or writhing on the ground, end quote, after police linked him to 25 incidents committed by the so-called Somerset gimp. Joshua Hunt, 23, has been given a sexual risk order after police argued there was a sexual motivation to the incidents. A district judge imposed the order after hearing Bristol magistrates court order a week after Hunt, who insisted he was not the gimp, was convicted of 2 offenses under the Public Order Act of intentionally causing harassment, alarm, or distress. Let's repeat that because there's a lot going on.
Yeah, there is, yes.
A district judge imposed the order after a hearing at Bristol. Magistrates magistrate's court a week after he insisted he was not the GIMP. He was convicted of 2 offenses under the Public Order Act of intentionally causing harassment, alarm, or distress. Harassment, alarm, or distress.
Also, a great track on Unusually Brazen Orca's album.
You should check it
Ironically
out.
enough.
Lawrence Wilcox, representing Avon and the Somerset police, told Friday's hearing that Hunt had been linked to 25 incidents.
Jeez.
Peter Richardson, defending, said Hunt had taken pragmatic and a practical approach to the application. Quote, "We are not contesting the application, but it is not the same as agreeing with everything that is set out." Well, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
The sexual risk order was imposed for 5 years and also means Hunt is the sexual offender register for the same period. Among the restrictions, Hunt, a gardener from North Somerset, is banned from wearing any mask or face covering, including improvised mask or face coverings that cover all or part of the face, in any public place, including while in a vehicle or public place, unless officially required for medical purposes or by law. Also, being in possession of any type of mask or face covering, including improvised masks or face coverings that cover all or part of the face in a public place, including while in a vehicle or public place, between the hours of 9 p.m. and 6 a.m., unless officially required for medical purposes. I don't know when a GIMP mask would be medically required, but okay. Especially between the hours of 9 p.m. and 6 a.m. You seem to be targeting something.
Right. That's very specific.
Wearing or being in possession of black all-in-one garments or any combination of full-length black color top or black colored bottom clothing.
Is this a foreign country? Is this in Europe or something?
This is Britain. Sir.
Okay, got it. I figured this couldn't be an American thing.
Bottom clothing, which has the appearance of an all-in-one garment, so they're basically like you can't wear suspenders between 9 p.m. and 6 a.m. 9 p.m. and 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Also restricted crawling, wriggling, or writhing on the ground in a public place while wearing full body covering clothing that appears like a full body covering.
They are very specifically going after this poor guy.
Face covering. The district judge, Joanna Dickens, said, quote, "I am satisfied that you have done a series of acts of
shit. Damn it.
Roll with it. Roll with it. It rolls through. A sexual risk order. It's quite serious order. And it has a lot of obligations of you. And if you breach this order, you can go to prison. Figure that out. And
they very specifically attacked that guy and his lifestyle.
Cannot apparently wear an all black anything.
Yeah, that's very specific and weird. But whatever.
So don't wear your latex.
No grinding or humping on the ground. Yeah.
There will be no indiscriminate humping of anything without explanation to the nth degree, according to Britain law.
It better be medically induced,
which is what we always recommend here on Topic Thunder. So I know next week we're not going to be here. Get ready for Black Wednesday from the USS Papa. Ben and Brooks, Topic Thunder.
Good Lord, let's go.